Has there ever been anything in your life that you have said goodbye to? I mean, like, slam the door, I'm done, never again. Well, I have, and today I'm talking about 7 things that I've said goodbye to. After 70, stay tuned. And welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for being here today. Well, I'm going to talk about 7 things that I have said goodbye to. Now, there's many things that I've said goodbye to, but these are things that can affect your mental health and your overall well-being and just your peace of mind. So let's get into it. Number 1 is chaos. Chaos of any kind, whether it be in your home, relationships with other people, or just in your mind. I'm done with chaos. Chaos causes so much stress that we don't need. We don't have the ability to focus when we have chaos in our lives. It causes poor decision making. Just overall, chaos is not good for any of us, is it? And why do we need it now at this point in our lives? So I have said goodbye to chaos of any kind. I'm not going to invite it into my life, and I won't allow anyone else to bring it into my life. Number 2 is perfectionism. That is so harmful because it leads to a set of standards that we're never going to be able to achieve. And why do we have to be perfect? Nobody is perfect. Whether it comes to our looks, our achievements, how we dress, clean, whatever it may be, perfectionism cannot be achieved. And we shouldn't even strive for it. Why isn't what we do good enough? As I have said before in the past, we are all perfectly imperfect, and that's great. When you really think about it, it is such a waste of precious time trying to be perfect, trying to look perfect. We just need to do our best and accept everything the way it is. It's okay to not be perfect. So goodbye to perfectionism. Number 3 is unrealistic expectations. We don't have to fall for that. Just slam the door and say goodbye. Because whether it is expectations from our family or societal expectations, we don't have to meet somebody else's expectations. We only have to meet our own. Shame on anyone for having expectations of us. We have to live our own lives, enjoy our own lives, and on the same token, we can't have unrealistic expectations of others. That's just as bad. It's not fair to put that kind of pressure or burden on another human being, whether you're doing it to someone or they're doing it to you. You know your own limitations. You know what you can do and what you can't do, and just don't even bother with expectations. Slam that door closed and never open it again. Number 4, regret and guilt. That can be so detrimental to your overall health and well-being. It is such an emotional drain on you, and it causes so much anxiety and stress. We have all made mistakes. None of us can say we haven't. But you just have to move on. Forgive yourself and move on. If you live in regret and guilt, you're not going to live a very long life. And what little life you have, it will eat it up. You don't have to do that. First of all, I don't believe in regrets. Now, we've all done things in life that we could regret, but what's the point and what's the reason? Regrets tend to teach us our best lessons. We learn a lot from things we've done that we could regret. Why sit and ponder on that and torture ourselves for it when we can take the lessons we learned and move forward in life to have a much better life? And as far as guilt, oh my goodness, I suffered from guilt for many, many years. I was raised Roman Catholic, and I hate to just throw this on the church, but if you were raised Roman Catholic, way back in the 50s and 60s, I think you probably heard of the term Catholic guilt. And my goodness, it seemed to be everywhere. Well, again, we can't beat ourselves up for mistakes we've made. There comes time in life when we have to set boundaries. We have to learn to say no for whatever the reasons are. And we're allowed to do that. So we don't have to feel guilty for not accepting an invitation to go somewhere or to do something. No, it's our decision to make, and we have nothing to feel guilty about. So if anything, please say goodbye to regrets and guilt. Number 5 is goodbye to pleasing everyone. Can't do it, and we shouldn't have to do it. It's fine to help people out, do nice things for people. I mean, that's just kindness in your heart. But to feel like you have to please everyone to keep them happy, no way. The only person in my life that I look to please every day is God. That's it. I don't look to please anybody else because I don't have to. I generally treat people with kindness and compassion and service. People know I will do whatever I can to help them. But if somebody says, oh, I need you to do this or that, or even a family member says, oh, I really want you to come to this, that, or the other, and you just can't for some reason, or you choose not to, you don't have to please other people. Number 6 is external validation. I hope each and every one of us have said bye-bye to that, because we don't need to be validated by other people. We know who we are. We know what our value is. We can't depend on, and should never depend on, someone else telling us, oh, you look nice, or I love your makeup, or your hair, or whatever. If they say that and give you a compliment, that's wonderful. But do not base your life on somebody else validating you and your worth. Learn to be comfortable with who you are. Be confident in who you are. And do not care what other people think. I think it's so sad when somebody goes somewhere and they think, oh, am I going to fit in? Do you think I look all right? I hope I'm dressed in the right clothing. And, all that stuff. Oh, I hate it that these wrinkles are going to show up so much in that light with all those other people. Oh my gosh. Talk about chaos in the head. I mean, that'll give it to you. None of that stuff matters. You are fine just the way you are, as long as you are living life being true to yourself and knowing who you are. You don't need validation. And number 7 for me would be toxic relationships of any kind. goodbye to that for sure. Because when someone brings all this negativity and angst and turmoil and drama into your life, that just dirties up your own heart, your mind. It takes away your peace. It's just so destructive for you. It takes away from your spirit, your well-being, who you are, everything. Nobody should have room in their lives for toxic relationships. And if you happen to be in one or have some toxic relationships with friends, you might really want to consider the cost that you are paying to be in that toxic relationship. It is not worth your health, and it will tear your health down both mentally and physically quicker than you know. Well, those are 7 of the things that I have said goodbye to. And of course, I've said goodbye to many other things. But these were my ones that affect me personally. And as I said, affect my mental health and just my overall contentment in life. I would love for you to share something or things that you have said goodbye to in your life. And when I say goodbye, I mean the door is locked, never to be opened again. You won't even entertain the idea of letting that back into your life. We can all learn from each other in the comment section, and then we help each other grow and lift each other up. So I would appreciate that. Now, I'm going to leave you with an inside beauty tip. My inside beauty tip comes from 2 Corinthians 3:17. Now the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. True freedom comes from living in the presence of God's Spirit. We can be liberated from all this stuff that we allow to happen in our lives, like the things that I just told you that I have said goodbye to. God wants us to have peace. He wants to give us rest. He wants us to have calm in our life, and He wants us to have joy in our life. Well, if we let all this stuff get into our heads and dictate our lives and live under all this kind of chaos and drama and everything else that comes with it, we are walking away from the ability to have the freedom to let it all go. It's not about rules and expectations like we have to say yes to everybody. We can't have any boundaries around our own personal space and things like that. No, it's about living in the peace of God's grace. I personally believe that God wants us to accept the peace He gives us. He wants us to have peace of mind, and He does not expect us to do things and go places and conform to people if that's not what we want in our lives. He wants us to conform to Him, to transform our minds and our hearts. And we can do it. It's ours for the taking. All we have to do is say goodbye to anything we don't want in our life. It really is just that simple. I thank you so much for being here today. I truly do appreciate it. And until we meet again, this is the old girl signing out. See ya.